Well, hello my darlings, and welcome back to our channel. I am so glad you are here. Today on day 2 of Danie's Designs Craftmas in July 2019, we are going to create an inexpensive as well as practical Christmas gift. I sure hope you'll stay tuned. For this project, you will need 2 5x7 frames. You will need 4 of these cut out from the backings that I told you to reserve from last week's craft. You will need either some glitter. I used the glitter to make the prototype, and for the one that we're making on camera today, we are going to need some beads. So either or, the choice is yours. You will need some embellishment. I'm going to be using this rhinestone wrap, as well as some diamond wrap from the Dollar Tree. You will also need a sheet of 8x11 paper and your choice of Dollar Tree shopping bag or wrapping paper. And then if you're going to be making your own lettering like I did this evening, you will need your vinyl. Of course, you will need your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. So to begin our project, we're going to process the 2 frames that we need. You are going to remove everything inside of the frame, reserve 1 of your panes as well as 1 of your back ends with your stand. The rest of the things you can throw away. Now, to prepare our frames for this craft, we are first going to glue our pane right back into the frame out of which it came. And to do this, we're just going to go in with a stream of hot glue, and I would suggest, if you're using this to make as a gift for your loved one, doubling up on that hot glue with a combination of a permanent glue, perhaps an E6000. Once you have placed your glue and placed your frame back or your pane back in your frame, you're going to press down on it to make sure that that glue has engaged with that frame, and you are going to set it aside to dry. While that is drying, you're going to take your paper, whatever paper you're using, whether it's a bag like what I'm showing you here, or whether it is a roll of gift wrap, whatever you decide to use, which I'm going to be using the glittered side of this bag. All you're going to do is take your backing, place it on your paper, trace out the shape that you are going to need. Very fast, very rudimentary. It does not need to be perfect. And once you have traced your shape out, you're then going to take your scissors and then cut along the inside of that picture or shape to ensure that you are going to have the proper measurement. So now that you have cut out the desired measurement of paper that you need, we are going to affix it to our cardboard. Now, if you remember in the supply reel, I told you that you would have needed an 8x11 white sheet of paper. The reason why I said this was because when I created the prototype, I did so using Dollar Tree wrapping paper. And if you have any experience with that wrapping paper, you know that it is very light. And so I decided to back up the wrapping paper on that white sheet to obscure any of that cardboard that may have shown through. Now, if we were going to use the white paper, we would put down a layer of the Elmer's glue and then sit the white paper in it, and then on top of the white paper another layer of Elmer's glue, and then place the wrapping paper on it. But because we're using this heavy set paper from a gift bag, we are only going to go in with the one layer, which is the gift bag, by taking our Elmer's glue, spreading it enough on our cardboard and spreading it out with a paintbrush or a foam brush. The choice is yours. It really does not matter. The only thing I would suggest, however, is not to use too much of the Elmer's glue, because you do not want the wetness of it to curl up your paper if in fact you were to use too much of the glue. And so as you can see here, I'm just making sure that I have my glue spread out, especially around all of the edges. And once I have done so, I'm going to place my paper in the glue, make sure I'm lining up all of my edges to my edges, my corners to my corners, and I'm going to smooth it out from the middle, set it to dry, and then if there is any excess, just run my scissors over the edges to trim those off. So here we have our backing that has been dried, and now what we're going to do is simply place this back into our frame, and as you can see, I'm placing it in there and it fits nice and snug and secure. To ensure, however, that this is not going to go anywhere, we are going to do the exact same thing we did with our pane of glass. Place some streams of hot glue and permanent glue going around the four corners or the four sides of that frame, and then we're going to slip our backing right back into place, making sure to feed the stand through the back of the frame. Press it down, make sure the glue has engaged with all of the sides and the corners, and then set it to dry for a few minutes. While this is setting into place, I'm going to show you. These are strips that I got from the backing of the last project that we made. And what I did to measure this is I went ahead and I counted these little stripes, markings, tally marks that are on the backs of those cardboards, and for each one of these sides we only needed a width of 4 of those markings. And so of course I had to go in and measure my length based on the 5 by 7. You would need approximately 6 inches and 3/4 for your long side, and then 4 inches and 3/4 for your short side, and then making sure that it is the right width so that when you're going to cover your shadow box, you will be able to do so. I'm going to continue this process with the other 3 sides. Now that our pane of glass has been dried and set into place, as well as the backing of our frame and our black sides to make this a cohesive and finished project, we are now going to start the fun part, the embellishing. Now, for my prototype, I went ahead and I used my glitter, but I did not like how, because of the static electricity that the glitter causes, some of that glitter got stuck to the inside of the glass and refuses to this point to move. So you will be able to see that in the outro. And so for a change of pace, I decided to, with this one, to use beads as opposed to glitter once again. And of course, using the beads will rid us of the problem of having the pieces of glitter stick on the inside of the glass. However, when you do create this, my darlings, of course, the choice of medium is going to be completely up to you. Now, once we have placed our glitter, our beads, whatever you desire, the next step is going to be to close our shadow box. And to do this, we are going to have to feed streams of hot glue going around the side, being very, very careful not to get any strings of hot glue into your shadow box. The reason why you want no strings is because once you close it, you're not going to be able to get into it again to remove that string. And again, my darlings, I learned the hard way in my prototype. So once you have placed your hot glue, it is going to be a matter of working as fast as you possibly can to engage those frames with the hot glue, making sure to press down very firmly and apply the same amount of pressure going all the way around those frames, making sure that the glue has been engaged, and then setting it aside to dry for a few moments. So here we have our shadow box as of yet, with our beautiful beads and that beautiful paper that we have used. And now what we are going to do is embellish this piece using our diamond wrap going all the way around the sides. I know in the intro I told you guys that I was going to use the sheet of adhesive gems. I chose instead to use the diamond wrap on a roll because it, of course, is going to be so much easier just rolling that and putting it in place. And so, of course, to put this in place, all I did was go in with a stream of that hot glue, or rather my hot glue, and then lay the diamond wrap in it. You're going to repeat that on the top and on the other side. And then for this beautiful trim that I found, we are going to likewise place a foundation of hot glue under it, not using a high heat but rather a tepid glue gun, because this diamond wrap or rhinestone wrap actually is backed on a plastic sheet, and you would not want that plastic sheet to disintegrate. And so just placing the glue and then allowing your rhinestone wrap to sit into it, cutting it off, and repeating that process 3 more times around the entire face. So this is the design that we're going to be creating for our shadow box, and here I'm showing you how it is going to load to the mats. The black portion shows on a black mat, the green portion of our design on a green mat, and the red portion on a red mat. It is not necessarily the color of the mat, but rather the color of the item that you are printing. Once I have set this on the mat where I needed to print on the vinyl, I am going to press print. And so here is the vinyl that I'm going to be using for this print: the black vinyl, the red vinyl, and the green vinyl. Of course, here is my maker that I have just turned on, and what I'm doing here is I'm loading my black vinyl to my mat. Now forgive me for being out of frame for this portion, but what I'm doing is loading the mat. If you have never handled a CriCut mat before, it is somewhat sticky, and that stickiness provides the security that you need for your medium to stay in place while your CriCut is printing or cutting. And so once you have loaded your mat, you're going to load it into the machine itself, smoothing it out. And what I'm doing at this point is telling the printer, or rather telling the computer, that I am ready to print. Once I have done that, as you can see, the load button is now blinking, and what it is telling me is to press it so that my mat and my vinyl will go ahead and load into the machine so that it can start printing. So what I'm showing you here now is where it says "Let It Snow" in black, the green palm fronds is printing in green, and the red flowers are going to be printed in red vinyl. So I'm going to tell it now continue, and once I hit continue, it is going to look for my maker. Once it finds my machine, I'm going to select my medium, which is vinyl. It tells me to load my tools and my mat, and once I have done so, here it is again, that light is blinking, telling me to press it. And once I press it, you will see what happens any moment now. I promise you guys, I pressed that button. But in any event, when you press that button, the machine is going to load the mat and the vinyl into it. And then the machine is going to start cutting. Here we go. It's finding the placement where I placed it on the mat. And then once it has found the placement where it's going to cut, I press the CriCut button and it has begun. Now this piece, because it is a larger piece, it is going to take a while for it to render and cut. Of course, I'm not going to keep you online watching the full 5 minutes of the machine cutting, but I'm going to continue waiting for it. And then of course, I'm going to load my other 2 colors of vinyl, and then I will allow this to print out. And once I have finished, then I will show you how we are going to place our letterings onto our glass. So here is our shadow box, 98% complete with our diamond wrap and of course our trim and our beautiful iridescent beads and colorful backing paper. I am so excited and I am happy to see how this turned out. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, of course, how I'm going to use my weeder. This tool is called a weeder. My daughter says that it looks like a dentist tool. I say if you are using one of these to be very careful, because I have drawn blood with mine already, getting my finger in the way. It is very sharp. But all I'm doing here and what this tool allows you to do is pick up that vinyl, as you can see, so that you can then place it, of course, wherever you need it to be. And so I'm looking for my perfect placement. I'm going to weed the middle of that L out. And then once I've done that, I'm going to set the word let down into place. Now there's some crafters or some Cricut masters who swear by using transfer paper. Even though it is a lot more work, do prefer to weed, because weeding for me is a way to clear my mind and just allow myself to think or to breathe or to relax from my day. And so whatever method you use to get this done, of course, the choice, my darlings, is entirely up to you. And so I'm just going to continue weeding my letters and my designs, placing this on our shadow box, and then I'm going to clean it and stage these so that I will be able to come back to show you what our finished project looks like. Well, here you have them, my darlings, our 2 shallow shadow boxes that we created using, of course, Dollar Tree frames, some Dollar Tree wallpaper and or gift bag, some Dollar Tree diamond wrap, and then some embellishments that we got from elsewhere. My favorite one of those embellishments being the vinyl that we cut and sourced from our CriCut Maker. Aren't these pieces just absolutely gorgeous? Can you imagine gifting these to one of your friends, or perhaps to your child's teacher, or a customer, or a waitress at your favorite restaurant, or even your postman? I mean, these things can be personalized to the nth degree, as well as they can be embellished however you choose to do so. I just love the glam that is beaming off of these two pieces because of that rhinestone trim that we have wrapped around the edges. If I do have to say so, my darlings, I will say that I think we have nailed yet another project. And so if you have found any value in this video, please be sure to like and share the video, as well as leave me a comment in the comment section below. I would like to hear from you which one of these shadow boxes is your favorite. When you do comment, I will reply to you and let you know which one was my favorite. To my Danie's darlings, I would just like to tell you thank you for all of the love, the comments, the care, the encouragement. Please know that none of it is wasted, and I appreciate each and every one of you. To those of you who may not yet be Danie's darlings, we would all love to encourage you to subscribe to our channel today so that you can become a member of our growing community as we learn from and craft with each other on a weekly basis. And if you do decide to subscribe today, also be sure to click the notification button, and when prompted, select all notifications so that you will not miss another video whenever they are published or whenever we go live as a community. My darlings, before I leave you today, I'm going to leave you with the motto to our channel, which is simply this. Say it with me if you know it. Why buy when you can DIY? And so, my darlings, my loves, until next time, I say, please, please, please take care of yourselves for me, and know that I love you all. Bye now.
If you're impressed with what you see, feel free to like and subscribe.